way we're doing it is he's going to light the candle and then you're going to read the child's lighting instead of doing it together. Because we spend so much time focusing on him.
Okay.
And then you're going to say, and now light this candle, and then he's going to light that. So he understands light, read, light.
Okay. And you've done this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Because I know.
should be good to go.
Okay.
Test. Test. All
Your cup was there, so I kind of thought you would.
What's good for today? Let's see. Dave Hughes, will you shut the doors? Thanks. And Penny. Welcome. Excuse me. Welcome to Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. This is a place where many paths meet, where we honor the rich tapestry of spiritual traditions, and where all are welcome to responsibly explore their own connection to the sacred. Whether you are here to seek, to remember, or simply be present, we are glad you've joined us. Welcome. I am Reverend Leslie Runnels, and I use she, her pronouns. Joined today with Jackie Burns as our worship associate. We have our pianist Megan Smith as usual. Ron White is here as our song leader. And then Barb and Dan are making all the technical magic happen. So we appreciate you all. If you are visiting us, Jackie, for the first or second time today, would you raise your hands that we may welcome you? Hi, on the front row, back there a little bit. And if you would like to introduce yourselves, we'll bring a microphone around. You do not have to if you want to be silent, but no, she's like, no, not me.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon with my girlfriend Holly and her daughter Amira.
Nice, welcome.
We're from Moorhead and Pinal Shores. And
Pinal Shores?
Everywhere locally. Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining us. And there's some more back there, Jackie.
I'm Debbie Thorpe. I'm here with Sally. Since you got your mask off. Oh. And this is Velvet Mottsinger and Friends of Sally.
Yeah, Sally's bringing them in the house today.
Camping friends.
Camping buddies, welcome. And then how about back there, last row? I think we have some visitors. Nova's back. Where's Nova? Hi. You want to say hi?
Say hello in the mic.
Hello. Welcome back, Nova. Welcome back, everybody. Anybody else first time, second time? Some old faces that are joining us again. Beautiful. All right, and now, Jackie, we'll find out who's joining us on Zoom today. Who's staying home in their warm snugglies?
We have John Brobst,
Nan, Kat, Jace, and Carol, or Kay and Darrell Lynch.
Beautiful. Thank you. Let's wave to them on Zoom. Thank you all for joining us. All right, we have a few announcements this morning. So it is the month of February, and that is all about Mardi Gras. So we're going to be having Crew for Change all month long, and that means the young ones are going to come around at some time during worship service, and they're going to ask you for all your change. So if you got quarters, if you got dimes, if you have dollar bills, because dollar bills are actually change from a 5, right? If you have a $20 bill, that's change from 100. So whatever you got, they are going to take, and they're going to collect it all month long, and then they are picking an organization that they want those funds to go to. And we'll find out about that at the end of the month. And they're going to be handing out Mardi Gras stuff for your change. So. And Thoughtful Gatherings is a thing that we do a couple of times a year. Susan Roberts usually corrals it for us, and we're going to have 3 groups running, is that right? Oh, how many people signed up? But it's going to run for 3 months. Maybe that's why I was thinking 3. March, April, May. These are small group gatherings where you have some spiritual grounding, some spiritual questions, and it's a way for you to build community with each other and kind of take your spiritual journey out of your head and share it with other people. So you can sign up. There'll be a sign-up sheet by the coffee door. Okay. And the other one I wanted to mention was locking up the building. This is your building. This is just like your house, that when you leave for extended periods of time, you probably lock it. So we need to lock up when we leave. And it's very easy. On the front door, there's a new piece of paper that kind of tells you about locking up. But if you notice you're the last one here or the second to last one here, just make sure one of you agrees to lock up. And not related to that at all, but I do want to mention that last week, I think it was 2 days before the snow came, we had the Salvation Army had set up to do overnight housing, do a shelter, and they could not because they didn't have enough volunteers. So there was a man named Daniel who came to the church when Megan happened to be teaching piano lessons and asked for help. So I was able to contact Helene. I don't know if Helene's here. There she is. Today, Megan contacted me. I contacted Helene. Helene contacted Dave. Dave contacted Econo Lodge. And Megan brought Daniel to Econo Lodge and set him up for 2 nights stay. So that, that tells you how this community is ready to go and how networked we are, right? So I want to thank you all for being available to do that. Thank you. All right, beautiful. We are now going to do a responsive reading. Your part is in italics. And we begin. What is abundance? What do we call riches and bounty? That we are alive is priceless. That we are loved is beyond worth. That we love others in turn fills our souls. The gifts of food that Mother Earth provides from her body, endlessly renewing, generously feeding all. The friends and families surrounding us, our possessions, the homes that shelter us, all are forms of abundance. Remember to be grateful. Take time to thank the provider for your bounty. Gratitude, thanks, love, you fill our hearts. May you be forever blessed remembering that even in times of scarcity, we are ever blessed. And now let us speak these words together. Come, let us worship together.
Parker. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. The peace candle. We also light our peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. And now, please rise in body or spirit for hymn 95, There is More Love Somewhere.
Let's see if we can all find more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. We're gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. We're gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Each week, this community makes space and time to be human and celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. Should you wish to share a personal joy or sorrow about a person or persons in your life, there is a paper to fill out in the corner over there, and you can place it in your basket, on the way to the chalice, and I will read those aloud as part of the worship service, as part of the ritual. And the way this works is we're going to have two lines, one line that comes down here and one line that's going to go around the outer edge of the sanctuary. And you select a bell, a shell, There's rocks, there's crystals, there's a pecan in there somewhere. And you take that item and you give it your joy, your sorrow, your grief, your happiness, whatever it is you want to put into that piece, and then you place it into the water. And this becomes holy water. This becomes the sacred water of community. So we invite you now into the ritual. Would you place a stone for me, Jackie? We want to place a stone today for all those who are resisting the occupation in their cities, who are fighting to love their neighbors, who are fighting to restore democracy to this country. We stand with them, we honor them, and may they win. Okay, today is Joe Nassett's 84th birthday. He was one of the people who helped form this church. I've always heard the name, but I did not know that part of the story. That comes from Penny Hooper. Thank you for sharing that. Shelley Cornell is telling us that in Onslow County, students are staging a walkout Friday in protest of ICE. Fabulous. Yes. Let's rejoice that our children are using their voices. Like, heck yeah. Beautiful. For the Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara and his team of monks walking 25 miles a day from Texas to Washington, D.C., as they deliver their message of hope, mindfulness, and kindness, starting each day with the mantra, "Today will be my peaceful day." Amen. And Adam has a joy that these are the final weak attempts of bigotry and cowardice that will not stop the tides of a new era of progression and freedom. Amen, Adam, amen. This holy community, this sacred chalice, holds all of our joys and sorrows that have been shared today. But those are not all of our joys or sorrows. So we know that there are some that are still slowly forming in our hearts, and we honor those as well. May you know love. May you know peace, and may you be safe. And now I welcome to the stage Sarah Grenier, who is our religious education teacher from 2 years, 3 years now maybe? 2 years? Yeah, come on up.
Good morning, UCF. As Leslie mentioned, I'm Sarah Grenier, member of this congregation and the children's religious educator. I gave my testimony a few years ago about how I became a Unitarian Universalist and how I was so glad to have a place where my children and I can call home. One is in here and one is in the nursery. But home not in the sense of a building, even though we worked really hard for this amazing building, but a group of people who let us be ourselves with love. So much has happened in the years since I gave my last testimony. I got divorced, split custody of my children, focused on my art, and became our religious educator. As you can imagine, some of those were not easy. Divorce is like being a bird who is molting. You shed your comfy feathers, you look kind of crazy, and you're a bit naked and afraid. But one thing that helped me through that time is UCF. Not only could I drop my dark stone into our holy water and pray my little heart out to any God who was listening, but many of you also came up to me during social hour and reassured me that you too had been there and that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. My feathers would grow back. I am at home. Even as I split custody of my children, many of the kids in this room still ask every week that it's Daddy Week, where are Summer and Alan? Although I wish they could be with us every Sunday, it warms my heart to know that they are missed and an important part of this community. So even though Summer has technically graduated to my class, she would rather barrel barefoot into the nursery to play with her bestie Emily, which is where she is now. Not only that, but she is confidently walks into coffee hour, still barefoot, piling her plate up to a mountain with the help of our congregation. I don't have to worry about her balancing this precarious plate because someone is usually there to see that she succeeds. She is at home. Alan and the other kiddos play all sorts of games, and their laughter and noise are sacred, even though those cylinder block walls say otherwise sometimes. It makes me so content to listen to Alan and George and Parker speak brain rot, even though I have no idea what they're talking about. But it sounds like they learned Italian overnight. Alan is at home. In the past few years, I've also been focusing on my career as an artist. You all have supported me in many ways. I was able to exhibit in the Sally B. White Center. Many of you attended my exhibit at the Bogue Banks Library last summer and purchased my work. Reverend Leslie and I have also been encouraging each other to brighten our world one painting at a time. And many of you came to the reception last week as well. So thank you all for supporting me. But the most important transformation of all has been becoming our children's religious educator. And trust me, I'm still becoming the educator. When I started, I knew I can lead and I can manage, and I knew those UU principles well enough to teach them in a Montessori-style curriculum. But that's not the real job that I'm entrusted with. I've come to this conclusion after being in the position for 2 years now, and after taking several religious education courses. The goal of religious education for all ages is not to have people absorb as much curriculum as possible. It's to build relationships. Because the most radical thing we can do in times like this is to have friends. To love each other, to accept each other, and to support each other. We are at home. We are at home when we chat at coffee hour. We are at home when we fight and make up. We are at home when we scooch over to make room for others in worship, like today, it's a full house. We are at home when we stand together at a protest. We are at home when we donate to help each other and our community. We are the curriculum, and our relationships are our home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for being with us, and Sarah is a dream to work with, too. I really appreciate you. Okay, so, Pony Express. Who's heard about Pony Express? Raise your hands. A lot of you, but a lot of you don't know about Pony Express. So, it is pledge drive season, and this is when we ask for all of the members of the congregation, members and friends of the congregation, to pledge an amount that they're going to give to the congregation for the year. And this is how we know how much we can budget and what we can do. So we have a new plan this year, and then it's called the Pony Express, and let's show how it works. First, we start with Butch, okay? This is our pony, and Butch is going to run across Carteret County. He's going to be going on 3 routes, I think, that we have. And the way it works is there's a trail boss who is going to bring the satchel of very important mail to the first person on the list.
This is going to be, it's neat, and
Yeah.
I'm going to take it to Sanjay.
You are the most important person on the list, right?
I'm the person who lives the furthest away.
And then show us what's inside the bag. So what will somebody do? So you're going to get this bag. It's going to come to you. You're going to have a sheet of instructions in there.
Instructions, and on the back of the instructions are the list of order of the friends that you're going to deliver to.
Yep, so you'll get it for one night. And in there is also a little bag
Bag,
that has,
wrapped in a nice eco-friendly napkin, and inside is a chalice that's a member of the church.
can we see that one? So you'll get this, and we made these chalices on that table for a couple of weeks. And it's all wrapped up so special. Oh, do you remember this one, Soleil? That one's hers. And then it's got a little, ta-da, oop. There we go. And then there's a book called A Cup of Light, and that has stories about how the chalice is representative of the Unitarian Universalist faith. There's a couple of chalice lightings in there, so when you light it with your family, you can have somebody read the lighting, like Parker just did for us, where he came up and lit the candle. And what else do we have? And then your pledge packet is in there, so that is has your name on it. It is sealed. you will get it, you will open it up, you will read a sweet little letter from me and Mark, and there's a page in there where you fill out the amount that you would like to pledge to the congregation, and then you put that into this special Pony Express envelope, and then you call the next person on the list and say, hey, I want to meet you tonight or tomorrow to pass off the satchel to you, and then it starts all over again, okay? And you might need to put that down. We are going to be tracking like any fundraiser, right, where you have like the thermometer, and everybody sees how much it fills up. So we have the 3 routes. We have Claudia running. I think Claudia is going to be running Cape Carteret. And then Miranda, so the kids made the names for the horses, of course, the ponies. Miranda is going to be running down east, I believe. Is that right? Nope. Moorhead, well, Miranda Moorhead, MM. Leslie loves that. And then 6-7 is going to be running down east. And then down here at the bottom, we have a little snail. And the snail is for snail mail, because there are some people who live far away or who know they're not going to be able to pick up a satchel and bring it to somebody the next day. So they're going to be part of Speed Racer. Some of you are old enough to remember Speed Racer. And the way it works is we're going to be able to track where the horses are running. And one day, in 2 weeks, February 22nd, we hope that even the little snail is going to end up right here on February 22nd. We're going to have all of our pledge packets in. Finance team is going to be jumping up and down for joy, because this usually takes a couple of months to do. We're going to try and do it in 2 weeks so that we can all stop talking about the pledge drive and do other important things. So that is Pony Express. Right. And now we have our time for all ages, which is a story that Jackie and I are going to read together. The tree stood in the middle of the village. Its trunk was so large that it took 6 people holding hands to reach around it. The roots were strong and wide, and its branches spread out over the village square, offering shelter from the rain or shade from the hot summer sun. Its fruit was juicy, sweet, and plentiful. The people of the village loved the tree. Children played beneath it and climbed its lowest branches. Young people knew that if you whispered your dreams to the tree, they would more likely come true. People who proclaimed their love or friendship for one another beneath its branches found their relationships to be nourishing, and elders discovered that their sweetest memories could be counted on when they were near the great tree. The tree had been witness to so much, and when the breezes blew through the leaves, one could hear echoes of generations, laughter, conversations, dreams, prayers, and songs. Animals loved the tree too. Rabbits lived in burrows under the roots. Squirrels and monkeys lived in the branches. And bats and birds flew in to eat the abundant fruit. The tree seemed to buzz with life. One day, a traveling merchant arrived in the village. He rested in the shade and ate 2 pieces of delicious fruit. "This fruit is incredible," he said. "I would like to have some to sell in the next villages that I visit. Who owns this tree?"
No one owns this tree, replied a villager. If anything, we belong to it.
"Well, then, if no one owns the tree, then no one will mind if I pick the fruit," said the merchant, and began to fill a basket.
I mind, said the villager, and today I am the keeper of the tree.
"What do you mean, keeper of the tree?"
We each take our turn being here with the tree. We could never own it. We are here as protectors, as sustainers.
"That's ridiculous. This tree doesn't need you. You could just take what you want. Take what you want. The tree will continue."
But the villager couldn't be persuaded. "Sir, This tree isn't like that. We don't come here to take from it, even though we receive much. We are keepers of the tree because this is where we are nourished. This is where some of our most precious memories are, and where our people have dreamed. This is where we remember who we want to become.
Well, said the merchant, you may think this tree is very special, but it still doesn't need you to sit with it. This is preposterous.
Ah, replied the villager, the tree itself may not need me, but what of the others who come by? Just this morning I sat with a woman whose heart was heavy with worry. Had I not been here, she would have had to carry that weight alone. And this afternoon, a tired couple came by, and they rested with me. And they said they'd been looking for a place like this. Then an elder came by, and we watched the birds in the branches together. And now you are here. You are confused about what this tree is and how to be with it. Imagine if you had arrived and found no one here to talk with. You might have continued thinking that everything you do is all about you. Luckily for you, my friend, I'm here to tell you that when you care for the tree of life, it becomes about so much more than you.
And the merchant sat for a while in the shade, thinking about these ideas that felt new and a little challenging. As the sun went down, he picked up his bag and headed out of town, whistling a song that he hadn't thought of in years. On his way, he shared a smile with each person he met, his heart feeling strangely light and joyful.
And the people of the village, they continue to sustain the tree of life, to care for one another and to share their gifts with grace and gratitude. May it be so for each of us.
May it be so. And now, before the children run off to their religious education classes, we're going to let a little bit of Mardi Gras into our service. So the children are coming to come around with some beads in a basket. They're going to pick up your change, and then they're going to run off to classes. Good job. Yeah, I think we'll just put it right here. Yay! You gonna wear it? I think it's me next. Oh, it's you. Fabulous. I did that because you do meditation so well, so feel free to do what you want with it.
Okay. We invite you into a moment of silence and meditation. So take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Another deep breath. And let your mind follow your breath within and let it out. One more deep breath in. Let it out slowly and sit in silence.
When Giving is All We Have by Alberto Rios. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You give me blue, and I give you yellow, and together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have to give, and I gave you what I had to give. Together, we made something greater from the difference. Reverend J. Leach said, "The most radical, controversial, countercultural message we offer in our particular liberal religion may not be about marriage equality or economic justice or environmental activism or any of our other social justice stances, as important as those are. Our most radical, controversial, countercultural message just may be our affirmation that each of us, every single individual one of us, is part of an interdependent web of existence. To make such an affirmation with full integrity suggests that what's in it for me is directly, inextricably, completely intertwined in what's in it for us." I appreciate that, and oftentimes I am wondering, what's in it for me? And I think back to the era of Reagan and how that became termed as the me era. Very individual focus. What's in it for me? Me and mine first. Work hard. Be that rugged individualist. Rise up out of the mire by pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. Unitarian Universalism has shifted that individualistic scarcity mindset that I had into a focus of collective liberation. What's in it for us? Are all of us included? Who have we left out? In collective liberation, it's not just for black and brown, for trans and bi, or for low income and poor, or those with disabilities. It's for all of us, every single one of us, even those in privilege and even those who actively oppress. That's saying a lot. That has not always been an easy sell for me, those who actively oppress. But I've come to understand how harmed we are, how far from true love so many people are. So they find something else to love. Power, money, cruelty, superiority, which is exactly what we see by those in power in the current administration and the absolute terror and harm that they are enacting on immigrant communities across the country. Our principle of interconnectedness, that web of interdependence, focuses us on the common good, not just for me and mine, but for the common good, for all, for each and every being. Our 19th century religious forebearer, Ralph Waldo Emerson, is perhaps mischaracterized as a vigorous individualist, because in one of his central essays, The Oversoul, Emerson speaks about the common heart, the unity of thought in which every heart beats, to a larger imbibing of the common heart. He dares to assert that the heart in you is the heart of all. He actually believes in what he refers to as the infinite enlargement of the heart. The infinite enlargement of the heart says health is always public health. Well-being is never private, is never an isolated individual sort of thing. It points us back to the public thing, the common heart. What's in it for us? The infinite heart knows how to love our neighbors, knows how to rise up and fight against tyranny and oppression. The infinite heart knows how to sing songs of liberation, how to embody nonviolent and anti-racist organizing principles, how to stitch and weave communities together, because that is for the common heart, the one that beats with us all. It is now pledge drive season, where we go to each of our members every year and ask them to consider a financial contribution of 5% of their gross household income. In our faith, we are increasingly embracing this concept because we believe that we can't be the kind of congregation we need and want to be. We can't embody the amazingly good news of our liberal religion without adequate financial resources to make that possible. Now, I know you might be wondering why just 5%, because you might have heard about 10% when you were growing up. For this reason, because people attracted to our liberal religion have many, many things about which they care deeply. So we only ask for 5% and urge our members to commit another 5% to the larger community, to the common good. When we consider what happens when we give gladly to our congregation, we feel that same way. Kids are taught with our money. Grieving families are cared for. Old prejudices are broken down. New self-images are built up. Beautiful music is offered with our money. Meals are lovingly prepared and shared. And great fun is had. Minds are stirred, disturbed, and changed. Hearts are lifted, bolstered, and filled. Deep needs in and outside the walls of this congregation are addressed. With our contributions of several $1000s, alongside many other similar sorts of contributions, we do two things. We change lives, and we change the world. And because I believe so deeply in our professed affirmation that we truly do live as part of an interdependent web of all existence, I know the common good is my good as well. We need one another. We need the good news of this liberal religion, this community. Our nation and our world need our radical, controversial, countercultural message that there are questions far, far more important than what's in it for me. I believe that this church changes lives for the better and that we are only getting started. We will be a congregation of stewards who understand that the church needs our strong support to fulfill our shared mission of transforming ourselves and the world. As stewards, we are caretakers of this institution for a future that we will never see. We know that our religious education program, you saw how half the congregation disappeared when they went to their classes. That program enriches the children beyond measure. We know that the comfort our pastoral care team provides means the world to those who are cared for, like Daniel a couple of weekends ago. We know that the music ministry of this church heals hearts and opens spirits. We know that community members showing up month after month to do community organizing makes a true difference in real lives. And there are so many things we'll never see. The teenager who decides not to end their life because they were affirmed as they question their sexual or gender identity. We'll not know for years about the young children currently attending our church who will be called to enter the UU ministry. One of these kids here might become a minister. I just met Deborah Guthrie. Do y'all remember her? When was her ordination? How many years ago? 10 or so? Yeah. She came from this congregation. From Harker's Island, from the community, yeah. And there are many of us who have changed the very course of our lives because of something we have learned here or felt here or touched here, or because God or our own deeper knowing has spoken to us here. Amen? Amen. We need a place where we can celebrate life, come together to mourn and marry and march, and to learn spiritual practices which will help us to live our values every day of the week. And we need a place which will challenge us to recognize our own privilege and invite us to be counted among those who are willing to change our lives for the sake of others. This will motivate us to see our interconnectedness with all life and will lead us to heal the environment, to heal from racism and classism and ableism and transphobia. It will lead us to become more and more generous and more moved to help. That is the why we pledge. Here's a little bit more about the how and the how much. We ask 5% of your income in a pledge. And some of you may be worrying that there are surely those who can't afford to give at such a level. However, studies across this country have shown that it is low-income working families that are the most generous group in America, giving away about 4.5% of their income compared to 2.5% of the middle class and a mere 3% among the high-income families. When you pledge and pay your income to the church, it is given to the greater good, the common good, and that enriches your life. We end our services here, and you go out there and do service yourselves. You live our principles far and wide. And the church touches so many beyond our walls via you, via our website, our YouTube channel, through community coalitions, our services, and our events. And the children, because we are raising amazing young people here. Week upon week, we make a difference in countless lives, deep differences that are profound, life-changing, and life-affirming. And the challenge before us is, are we willing to prioritize the church in our giving? Because if we did that, if each of us gave 5% of our income, we would be happier people. Statistics prove it. And we would be able to bring more love and more light and more justice to the world. The infinite enlargement of the heart that beats in all of us. I hope that the fire of commitment will be growing with you this morning and that you'll be inspired to be something really generous. And please hear this. Whatever gift you give will be gratefully received. Our pledge drive begins today. The Pony Express is going to be running wild in Carteret County, even the little snail. The trail bosses have the satchels, and they are ready to support you through. Those of you in the snail mail route, you have probably already been given your packet today. I think there were some people already handing them out, but if not, they'll be by the front door. You can pick it up. You'll want to bring it back next week or the week after and put it in the white bucket that'll be under the table, like we did before, the white thing with the... And so that's Sunday, February 22nd. You have 2 weeks to kind of sit there and think about it. And now I'd like for us to begin a litany on generosity. Your part is in italics up at the top of the slide. Please say together, we give from a place of deep joy. We give from a place of deep joy because we feel alive in our faith and mostly in our shared values. And we know joy is the antidote to hopelessness. Joy sustains our ministries, both within the congregation and in the community. Please repeat. We give from a deep place of joy. Please say together. We give from a deep place of abundance. We give from a deep place of abundance because we deny the myth of scarcity that keeps us scared from sharing with each other. We do not acquire abundance because we always have it. We just need to tap into it. Please repeat. We give from a place of deep abundance. Please say it together. We give from a place of deep liberation. We give from a place of liberation because our faith supports our shared ministries that move us closer and closer to that world we dream of as we watch the moral arc of the universe bend towards justice and liberation. Please repeat. We give from a deep place of liberation. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be. Now please rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing hymn number 1010, Oh We Give Thanks. We usually sing just one verse, but the composer has written a second verse for us.
We're going to give a little thanks here. Thanks for this precious day, all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share in loving care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young, for the time of of wonder, joy and fun, for all we give as we grow and live. We give thanks for the old and young.
This month's Share the Plate is for UU Justice, North Carolina. UU Justice, North Carolina organizes UUs across the state to co-create a transformative movement for justice through spiritual grounding, collaboration, and imagination. They work to organize opportunities for spiritually grounded direct action on issues, provide opportunities for education, leadership, skills development, and spiritual growth. Provide our congregations with regular updates and resources related to state and national issues, legislation, and calls to action. They connect us with state and national justice partners and UU congregations around North Carolina. In today's current environment, the leadership of UU Justice NC is more important than ever. UCF benefits directly from the support, guidance, and collaborative partnerships provided by UU Justice North Carolina, and we are a proud partner congregation. Please give as you can to help support the work of UU Justice North Carolina. Please join us in blessing this offering with hymn 402, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Please join me in reading the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Español. Extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. Let us now join our voices in song as we sing number 1017, We Are Building a New Way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling strong every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. freedom feed every need. Start with love, heal every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love that we need. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without this world we will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
It is tradition in this congregation to join our hands around the edges of the sanctuary. If you'd like to stay in the middle and be surrounded by our love, please do so. We should be able to stretch. Here we go, getting closer to linking up. All right, Payson is the last of the link. We got it. Beautiful. Within each of our hearts, there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light be of reason and a guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its ray of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they may find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. Go forth and share your glorious light with the world. Go now in peace. Amen. I forgot about it completely. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll call him back. Sorry. She had a lot today.
the horse. Stand up. Hey, gallop. Gallop.
Yeah, the food, everyone always come with his